Grinding in games is inevitable. At some point in practically any game, there are moments that will feel grindy. Whether you're playing an RPG, FPS, open world, or honeypop, every game is gonna have their moments where everything just feels monotonous. Now, don't get me wrong, I play a lot of games. I wouldn't play so much if I didn't actually enjoy my time playing. But again, at some point things become stale, and all of a sudden, you realize you aren't having as much fun. The game now feels like a chore, and you question why you're even playing the game at all. And personally, this feeling always comes when I feel like I'm grinding. Most games have it, but good games do it well, while others don't. Take older Pokemon games. You're discovering new Pokemon, beating your rivals, fighting gym leaders, and all this while you're progressively getting stronger. There are times when you need to stop and train for a bit, but for the most part, it's smooth. Until there's a power gap or your team wasn't balanced correctly to take on a certain boss. Why isn't your team all one type? That's breaking the rules. And now you have to spend 6 hours tediously wiping out the local tentacle population to get ready for a gym leader. Please spare me. I'm sorry. For a game not to feel like a chore, you can't let the player feel like they're mindlessly grinding. But that doesn't technically mean all grinding is bad. Mining is a core part of Minecraft, it's even half the game's name. Except it's boring, especially strip mining. I'm literally just pointing my mouse in one direction for 2 hours in the hopes I find diamonds. But the reason I'm generally okay with it is because I know I'm gonna be rewarded for the work I put in. In a 2009 research paper, a study was conducted to determine how humans integrate the prospects of pain and reward during choice. And yeah, I did actually read through an entire research paper for this video. It felt like I was back in high school. But anyways, in a very simplified explanation, the participants could choose to gain a form of monetary value but at the cost of an electric shock, or to choose not to receive pain and receive no money. The results suggest that the positive reward of money was high relative to the negative value of pain. So the participants willingly took the pain because they knew they would be rewarded. A similar thing applies here. Sure, mining is boring and tedious, but the expectation of finding diamonds to get better items makes it worth it. That's when grinding is acceptable. But it's important to make sure that the items make the player feel like their time wasn't wasted. The study also mentioned that if they had used lower monetary offers, the effect of pain on choice may have appeared stronger. So if I mine for 2 hours and come out with an inventory looking like this, I'm throwing hands with Notch. I already stole the IP though. Shut up. The reward needs to be worth it. The balance between pain, or in this case boredom, and gain need to be well balanced. But it's that balance that can be difficult to find, especially in games. Or instead, just make what feels grindy and make it fun. I mean, it took them 8 years of suggesting it, but hey, they're doing it now. On another hand, in games with loot boxes, you can be grinding for months to get certain items or characters, but you may never get it because the item you want is randomized, and there's no way to tell if you're actually gonna get it this time. And with poor luck, it can be really frustrating to grind for an item only to be snubbed every time. Which is why I suppose so many people just break down and blow thousands of dollars on the game so that they could get their favorite fucking waifu. Sometimes it's not RNG that makes it bad, but it's when the grind itself takes too long. In Hypixel Skyblock, you'll grind for hundreds of hours for certain items, literally just walking around and slowly breaking glass. For weeks. So I can get this cool sword, I guess. Woo, alright. This is when you gotta stop and ask if you're doing this for fun, or because you're procrastinating on your homework. No matter how cool the reward may be, sometimes the time spent just isn't worth it. But mind-numbingly hacking away at blocks isn't the only form of boring grinding. Battle passes, which are in practically every game now, like seriously, why the f is it in Tetris? Essentially, you buy this pass where the more XP you get, the more items are rewarded to you, which you probably already know. And if you're okay with getting just some of the cosmetics, then there isn't really an issue. But if you want to be cool and go for the final item, you really gotta grind. And if you love the game and you're playing 24/7, then it's not that big of a deal. But if your time is limited, then it can be really difficult to put all that time in. It stops being an in-game grind and starts becoming fucking scheduling simulator to get all your daily XP in. And to some of you kids out there with a lot of free time, this definitely isn't an issue, but rip my boy who failed pre-calc to get the fucking John Wick skin. Don't misunderstand though, I get why having a large amount of XP to get the final rewards is a good thing. Since most people won't actually want to grind that much, it makes the skin rarer and you feel cool having it. And while gaming feeling like a chore can often be blamed on oversights by the developers, that doesn't mean that's always the case. In fact, sometimes it can be on the player. If you're like me and spend all their money on games, Steam sales are literally one of my favorite holidays. I skip school on a day when a big Steam sale is released. And because I'm also a big fan of indie games, I end up buying at least one game off my wishlist. The only problem is that the ratio between the amount of games I'm buying versus the amount of time I actually have to play all these games is as balanced as my diet. I'll buy a game, play it, but because other stuff gets in the way, I can't finish it by the time another game goes on sale. Like here, recently I got Ori, but before I could finish that, Pokemon came out. But before I could even finish that, the autumn Steam sale hit. So essentially, I either just start playing multiple games, or I have to grind an entire game out real fast so I'm not playing multiple games at once. And personally, I'd rather finish a game before I start the next, so I end up trying to just grind it out. I still have fun with these games, but I essentially hurt myself by making a game feel like a chore because I force myself to complete it within a restricted time. That and because I also want to get my money's worth for a game, especially if it's a AAA game. According to the sunk cost fallacy, most people are reluctant to abandon something if they have invested something in it. So if you paid $20 for your movie ticket, even if halfway through the quintuplets movie you realize the room smelled like ass, most people won't walk out because they paid $20 for the ticket. And I didn't spend $60 on No Man's Sky on release to not explore all 10 quadrillion billion trillion planets. I'm gonna play the game until I feel like I got my money's worth, even if the game was balls. Conclusion. Grinding can make the game feel unplayable at times, but if done right, you'll feel a great sense of progression from all the work you put in. Without some grinding, you'll feel like you've unfairly grown stronger, and that feeling of earned improvement and adventure may feel lost. Certainly, games can feel like a chore, but honestly, as long as you play the ones you want, and play how you like playing, then there's no doubt you'll have a good time. What's good, guys? Thank you so much for watching as always, and I just made a Patreon, which link will be in the description. If you want to support me, then I would be really grateful. Plus, it comes with a lot of cool rewards with each tier, like getting videos before they're even released, exclusive Patreon Discord channel, shouting out your name at end of videos, director's commentary about the video process, behind the scenes stuff, deleted scenes, and a whole lot of other cool stuff, so definitely check that out. But if you don't have the money, then just leaving a like and sub is really all you need to do to support my channel. You know I really appreciate it. But with that, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Even if halfway through the quintessential